Shalom, calling on Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash, giving all praises to the great Ali Shaddad of Israel, the great I am, the possessor of heaven and earth, the spirits of heaven and earth, giving much respect to his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, the Adonai, the Hamashiach, the light of this world, the one who died for Israel, and rose to sit to become his father's royal right arm, my redeemer, my comforter, and my salvation, the only one that plead his blood over Israel, the only nation granted for a salvation. Giving much respect and double honors to great millstone, the men that gave me this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to make me strong and to prepare me for the days that are coming. Well, my face broke out. And giving respect to the Akim, the ones that's out there doing the work. Even though you may not be from Great Millstone, you still follow them and you still support Great Millstone, and you listen to their classes and you attend them. You learn from them and only them, not nobody else. And you go to the highways and byways and you risk your freedom and your life to do so. Let me see where I'm going. Anyway. And shout out to the beautiful women that's in the word, the aqua, the women that believe in the truth, and regardless if you got a man or not, you still risk your freedom in your life to do so. Well, you still fear the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh, and you learn in silence. So, coming back at you with another video. Where is it? Because this video is going to be pretty prophetic. Because it tells you about how, the Bible tells you about how the earth would be in the last days and the condition of it. Well, mainly the purpose of the Bible is not talking about the earth, it's actually talking about a people, but it's including the world too. You know what I'm saying? So since these people are in this condition and the world is in the same condition, because without the children of Israel, the world would cease to be. So since the children of Israel are in a bad state, then the world is in a bad state. So with them being down, then the world is not the way it's supposed to be, and allowing somebody else to rule is a pretty bad idea. Now we see, what I'm saying, that the end game of what's happening when you let your enemy rule. So this is what's happening, and the whole world is in a bad state, of being. And without the children of Israel going back to their royal state, then the world is if it were not for Yahweh and the Bible, then the world will stay in a staggered state like this and probably be destroyed, and much worse. But through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, the world wouldn't have to suffer like this, nor the children of Israel wouldn't have to be stuck in a state that they in, such a low state. And without them, the world is not going to work right. So that's why the Most High is trying to come save our butts when our enemy, which is the white man, come down with great wrath. But it's a couple of prophecies that has happened, and it's a couple of more prophecies that are happening, that really make sense. And it's about we pretty much in the last days. So yeah, it's a couple of prophecies that needed to be heard out, because right now we're in a state to where it's a lot of them that's just being completed, and Yahweh is keeping his promises. And not only that, it shows the time and the state that the world is right now. So it's in very bad shape. It says we can go into Isaiah I was gonna go to Revelation, but I'll go to Revelation in a minute. Because Revelation is a good book. Uh, it tells you Isaiah. It says, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, but they have rebelled against me." It says, "The ox knows its owner, and the donkey its master's crib, but Israel does not know. My people do not consider." So it tells you, it identifies the state of the mind state that a lot of us are in. Some of us are in a dumber mind state, and it's a lot of the children of Israel that God will compare to animals, because certain animals can't remember dates or times, like dogs that can't distinguish the cars in the street, and the Most High compares some of our people to the animals, or even lower, because certain animals even they may not have much of a common sense, but they can take care of their children, rather than what's going on today. A lot of women do ditch their kids. It says, "And the donkey its master's crib." Yeah, a lot of people do mistreat they children, and neglect them in all kinds of manners, but mainly it's the common sense. So you can pretty much see it when you go into the neighborhoods and the ghettos and stuff. The state of mind that they in is pretty alarming, because they don't have no mind. They a lot more dumber than the average animal, or the average dog, or or the common fly. His brain only worked for like a day or two, and then the fly dies. They only have certain parts of the brain. They don't have all that we have. So the Most High is like that's one thing, that's prophecy too, that our people would be so stupid that it's not only rebellious, but it's they mental state of mind. It's just stupid. Like, you do see it when you go into the neighborhoods. It says, "Alas, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a brood of evildoers, children who are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh, they have provoked to anger the Holy One of Israel. They have turned away backwards." So there's another prophecy that's popping off. It's a lot of wicked kids. You got a lot of wicked kids that's doing a lot of bad things. Some of them are choosing their own sexual genders. Some of them are doing drugs at a younger age. A lot of the children are into, instead of them being into the Bible, they're more into, rappers and clothes, and videos, things that don't pertain to, God. And a lot of them are being drafted into, gang banging, and what I'm saying. So children encourage that on other children, and when God sees that, he not only could take out the children, but he'll take out the parents, but he'll take out their children and their children's children, because the whole line is messed up. It's not one of them that's into the Bible, or not one of them that's doing any of the work. So when these chain reactions do set effect, don't be surprised if you're seeing huge families being killed off, because not one of them had the truth. So it might seem horrifying, but if you know the Bible and you know the fear of the Lord, then you'll understand it. Rather than be terrified, you'll understand why it happened. And it's like, could the Lord be wrong for punishing them after he done gave so many warnings? Could God be wrong, what I'm saying, for destroying them and killing them after they rebelled and they've done so much evil? You can't blame Yahweh when it gets to this point. You can't blame God. And it says they have turned away backwards, meaning that nobody wants to hear the word of Yahweh Shem Shai. Nobody wants to believe in the Bible. Nobody wants to push it. It's a good majority of us that's coming back, but it's still the same of a remnant. It's not a lot of us that's coming back. It just looks like a lot because it's a couple thousands going into the millions, but the Most High does call it a remnant for a reason. You know what I'm saying? That's not a lot in the eyes of Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? Now the children of Israel, they make up the world's population, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? They really do make up the world's population. They live within every ghetto of the nations, and they are the backbone of every nation, literally. You know what I'm saying? So, the children of Israel, the Negroes, the Mexicans, and the Indians, they make up a great bulk, of the planet. So when God is talking about um, the world, he's talking about them. So a lot of people would, disagree on that and be like, oh, that's not fair because we all supposed to be included? Are we not all a part of the Lord? Doesn't God love us all? Does not God give us all the same body? Well, no, Yahweh does not love everybody. No, he does not care for everybody. You got to understand is not only levels to it, you know what I'm saying, but creation, you know what I'm saying, just because we look like we got the same hands and the same eyes, on the head, that doesn't mean that we're designed the same, so the Most High does break that down in the Bible when he repeatedly talks about Israel come home, Israel come home, Israel repent, return, come back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. He talks about the new wine. So it's a great majority of the Israelites that are worshiping false gods. One of the false gods in particular is the Jesus Christ movement that was created during the slave trade to keep us down. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, the Most High was angry with us, so he removed the name from us and he gave us what we asked for. You know what I'm saying? And removed the name from us and gave us the false name. He gave us somebody else instead of us giving him giving us. No, him giving himself to us. He gave us the false names. So, that was a part of the curses and that was meant to happen, but all's well, ends well. The old wine is the false god, or the other gods, you know what I'm saying, are mainly false god, which is Jesus Christ and the word God, because everybody think that when they die, they gonna go to heaven and see a white man that's kind of like a Zeus resemblance, you know what I'm saying, but that's not true. In the Bible it does describe the Lord being black, and his child being black. The angels are black, the prophets are black. The children of Israel are black. They're all melanated. Sorry to say it so harshly, but to put it straight up to you, God is black. And there's no going around that. A lot of people like to hip and hop and skip over Revelation and all of that. And the legend is true. You know what I'm saying? The Most High did come from Israel. He did come from Jerusalem, and he's not just talking about from the place. He's talking about from his people who are Jerusalem. They are the place. So, don't be surprised when people say that. You know what I'm saying? The people before they are a place. So now Jerusalem is in America. You know what I'm saying? And they no longer in their hometown, and they no longer in their nation or their country because Yahweh removed them. And he scattered most of them. No, he scattered a lot of us across the world, and the bulk of us went to America. So it's the most amount of children of Israel is in America. So that's another prophecy too. So that's another thing that's pointing it out. And it says, they have provoked to anger the Holy One of Israel. They have turned away backwards. So that's, you got a lot of people that do, blaspheme the day of the Lord. They blaspheme Yahweh. They stand before the prophets and be like, oh, I'm gay. Oh, I'm an atheist. You know what I'm saying? I've heard some of them say if they come out with that brain chip, I'll take it. They say a lot of things like, oh, I'm God. There's no other God besides me. I'm the Lord. Some of them don't understand black history, you know what I'm saying, which is the slave trade, and ancient history about the different other slave trades that identify with the children of Israel. So a lot of them do come against the prophets with their own different arguments, which is nothing wrong with that. But for you not to receive the word, that's what a problem is. And they become very rebellious and blasphemous. in the eyes of Yahweh, which provokes him to anger. So, like I said, if the Most High doesn't get you, oh my goodness, if these crackheads don't move, bro, they're irritating. If, you know what I'm saying, if they don't turn back and they don't repent, then the Most High will take action. If they don't pray, if brothers don't become an alpha and go to the highways and byways and do the best that they can to show Yahweh that they love him, you know what I'm saying? The Most High will act, in anger and act in jealousy and will do something, you know what I'm saying, to them. Sometimes he might let them get away for a time, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes he might just catch you, out of nowhere. So that's how the Most High is, and that's how he feels. It all depends on how your sins are and what kind of person that you are in the children of Israel society, because all he really focused on is on the children of Israel. He not worried about their enemies. Their enemies are next, which is Esau, the white man, and all the other nations. They're next. He's focused on the children of Israel because them the main ones that went off. The children of Israel were the ones in charge of the world. You know what I'm saying? So they the ones that are supposed to be punished because they're the original leaders. So it make much sense why it's a lot of Israelites, a lot of Jacobs that are dying because they're not acknowledging their God and they don't want to return. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High really has his eye on the children of Israel, and he has been killing a lot of us. He has been killing us. Or the 2/3. He's been killing a lot of the 2/3. You know what I'm saying? That don't want to repent. They don't want to come back. They don't want to be with the Lord. They want to do their own thing. They have their own perspective in life due to school. So many people being in your ear. You know what I'm saying? People that are dumb, and you constantly look for a reason and an escape for things. So you go to your friends and sorry, I heard something. I heard something. But they go to their friends and they go to their teachers and they go to people that they feel like, oh, they've made it somewhere in the world, and they will ask them. And these people that they're asking are not the right people to ask. So, they continually to fall in that same ditch, to fall in those ideals, to fall under those different wines, per se. As Yahweh would say, different wines, different knowledges that can get you very intoxicated. So you got to be very careful with choices you make. Sometimes it's good to make your own choice. It is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's good to evaluate everything before you make a choice, because a lot of people be like, oh, I like what my friend's going into. He's into yoga and all of that. So I'm going to go join them. So you got people that move on attention. Be careful of those people, because a lot of people, some people are weirdos and they can't stand to be by themselves. So they move upon attention. They move and they breathe on people. Whatever the people do, whatever their friends do, they do, which is causing a massive cripple, you know what I'm saying, in the children of Israel. They all do it, you know what I'm saying, oh, me and my friends, or me and my guys, oh, my best friend this, my best friend that. A lot of people like to, instead of people leaning on God, they lean on each other, which is causing a major problem. So it says, why should you be stricken again? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the heart is faint. It says, from the sole of the foot even to the head. It says the whole head is sick, meaning that they like as in the days of Noah, so too shall be in the coming of the Son of Man. Meaning that this is a prophecy too, major prophecy, bad. Meaning that the people, their minds are destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Based on being self-driven. You know what I'm saying? Their addictions, their desires, their ideals is destroying they mind. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know which way to go. You know, and they can no longer think and depend on their own. You know what I'm saying? They're being led. They're being controlled, whether it's by the white man or it's by evil spirits or it's by their friends or their families, driven on their own self-drive to wherever direction they're going. They're not going in the direction of Yahweh, and it's making their mind sick. And Oh, that's what I'm hearing. Oh my goodness. That's what I'm hearing. That's kind of irritating. But I got an idea for that rat man. Now, that's a mouse in here. Don't worry about it. But they're self-driven on their desires. But not only that, that their heart is sick. Their heart is faint, meaning that they don't no longer. It's some people that's out here that's even their feelings are dissolving. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no heart. They don't have no compassion. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful of people like that that don't have no compassion for others or even they self. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be aware and watch out for these people. And demon possession is popular. You know what I'm saying? Um, uh, Demonic, you know what I'm saying, activity is growing, on a larger and larger scale, especially with um, especially with the drugs, the gang banging, the music. Oh my goodness, the music and the gang banging, the money. You know what I'm saying? Schools. You know what I'm saying? Is your eating habits. It's a lot of things that's having the children of Israel in a disarray. And it's just it's actually pretty serious and actually pretty dark. You would, if you didn't have the spiritual mindset, you wouldn't be able to tell who has a wicked spirit and who doesn't. But it's very simple for you to tell who has wicked, evil spirits in them. You know what I'm saying? Because the word of Yahweh will identify it. You reading the word and you talking about Yahweh Shem Yahushai and Name Yahushai, you talking about God, you talking about your beliefs and stuff, then it will, well, you believe in the Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know what I'm saying? And you trying to get them to wake up, and it's a vat, and you'll be able to see it, you know what I'm saying? Demons don't have to come in the night, you know what I'm saying? They can come during the day, you know what I'm saying? This is how obscure the world that you're living in is, a world of evil, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of demonic activity that's being pushed onto the children of Israel, mainly to keep them bulked down, to keep them dumbed down, to keep them trapped. But with all this intoxication and things that are going on, you know what I'm saying, which is meant to be, is prophecy, you know what I'm saying, that is what Yahweh was looking at, you know what I'm saying. And the children of Israel, the ones that are in the part of the word, they like to have that. So they're addicted, they're intoxicated, they're on a non-stop roller coaster to hell, and they having fun until they crash in the end. And they see the crash coming, you know. If they wanted to ask Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he would be able to save them. But a lot of them is, they don't care. They just party and do it all they want to, and then say they consider it that it was worth it in the end, and then hit that crash course. So that's what's happening. And niggas is enjoying the ride too much. They don't want to wake up. They like this dream fantasy world. That this devil had created, this white man had created. They like this matrix that was designed to keep them trapped. You know what I'm saying? When, like the Most High say, you gotta, if you got the truth shall set you free. That's what it really means, for you to see beyond what you see. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying yesterday, the way that Esau is doing is he's destroying his infrastructure from within first. And then when the time comes, it's gonna come out, and you'll be able to see it more and more, rather than stats. You know what I'm saying? Rather than certain various events. When I'm talking about seeing on the outside, I'm talking about seeing the destruction that's coming at hand, which is Jacob's trouble, all of the riots that are coming to play, the murders. You know what I'm saying? Mass explosion, mass fires, people going crazy, etc. That's what I'm talking about. That's when you're going to see the infrastructure just implode on itself. But for right now, you got to have the spiritual mindset, the spiritual eyes, to be able to see on the inside, because it's happening within first. That's why people be walking around and be like, there's no end in sight, or what are you talking about? I don't see no problem. There's nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not looking with your spiritual mindset. You're not reading the stats. You're not looking at the economy the way it is. You're not watching the news. You're not listening to the warnings that the prophets are giving. You know what I'm saying? You're not listening. You know what I'm saying? And they can diligently measure the times because they see the events that are coming into play. So, definitely we are in the last days. I'm just reading out a couple of prophecies that are coming into play and that are happening right now as I speak. And then what identifies the children of Israel as being the real Israelites and what they would be doing in these last days and the condition that they would be in. And since the Israelites are in this condition, then the world is in a terrible, dark condition. You know what I'm saying? Without the children of Israel, which is the leaders, and without them giving a spiritual power back to the creator who made it, it's causing a huge monkey wrench in the children of Israel's design, and Yahweh was tired of it. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is tired of it because a lot of children of Israel don't give Yahweh the recognition that he deserves. And that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it says, there's no soundness in it. No, the whole head is sick and the whole heart faints. From the sole of the foot even to the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and petrifying sores. They have not been closed or bound up or soothed with ointment. So those wounds and those petrifying sores is what's on the children of Israel, their history, their slavery, you know what I'm saying, the tyranny of the white man. These people what these white people gotta notice and understand is that when you, per se, you fall and you bust your knee, you know what I'm saying, or you get into a fight and somebody hits you real good and it rip off some of your flesh like to a deep, you know what I'm saying, part, when it heals, it leaves a scar. So that's what happened to the children of Israel. They got wounds, petrifying sores from the wars, from the slavery, you know what I'm saying, for the terrible atrocities that happened due to the hand of the white man. They have the scars and they still can be seen on the children of Israel to this day. So no matter how much the white people deny it, the children of Israel still got them scars through the history, through the knowledge, the Bible, you know what I'm saying? They own stories, man, you can ask a lot of these Israelites, man, and they got their own individual stories. It's just how horrible white people are, and they really are horrible. You can ask the older generations that were there, you know what I'm saying, in the 60s and the 70s that are probably, they probably passed on, but, some of their descendants, still know very well the damage that the white people have done, because y'all got to understand something. The slavery abolished thing, you know what I'm saying, and the racism did not end that long ago. You know what I'm saying? We probably like 20 years in, you know what I'm saying, 30 years in. That ain't a lot of time, you know what I'm saying? That's not a lot of time. It might seem like it in a lifespan, but it's not, okay? It's really not. A lot of this racism and all that just ended, you know what I'm saying, like 20 to 30 to 40 years ago, and back then it was a different whole world. How we speed up to 2022 now, and these motherfuckers say they ain't changed. That's a lie. They just been able to hide their wickedness, which is something that this common caveman has finally developed to try and hide his wickedness, because he didn't have no restraint on hiding it. You know what I'm saying? So, there it is. I can say probably over 100 years ago. That's not even a long time neither. So, yeah, they have the scars to tell the truth. They have the stories. They got the wars. They got all the battle scars on them. You know what I'm saying? So, the white people can't lie. These guys, the children of Israel, we are the true children of Israel. Our background, you know what I'm saying? The Bible, Yahweh Hashem Hawashai vouches for us. You know what I'm saying? Our history, the triangle slave trade, all that is scars, wounds, and petrifying sores, man. That is all the proof that you need. So they can't deny it. Like, oh, these people aren't the children of Israel. No, the hell they are. You know what I'm saying? They really are who they say they are. And Yahweh vouches for them, and he says that. And it makes them jealous because they realize just how worthless they are. They can make their own Pentecost up. They can make their own high and holy days up. The Most High says it doesn't matter. They're not my children. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you can tell the action of the children of Israel and how they move and the curses that fit them. And you can tell the corruption and the demonic things that the white people are doing that fit them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for the brightest of us minds and for those of us that Yahweh Shem Shai opened our eyes, we can see that and we're not stupid and we no longer in the dark and we understand where Yahweh is coming from. Know thy enemy. And with that, we get into another part too.